everybody, my name is Ashley Maready and I'm coming to you from the Erie Canal Museum in downtown Syracuse. I am the curator of collections and exhibitions for this museum. The reason that I'm here today and not greeting visitors is because the museum is still closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. As a result of that, the museum has been closed since the middle of March, and we are hoping to reopen to the public at some point in the not too distant future, per New York State's guidelines for reopening of businesses. In the meantime, however, our museum staff has been working from home. We've been doing all kinds of online programming for you. It's on our website, it's on our social media pages. I hope you've been following along because we've been doing some really great stuff. We've had some great speakers and some really interesting topics of conversation with our Thursday morning quarantine coffee hours and my own curator talks that I've recorded and put out there. So this video is going to be the first in a little series of new videos for you. One of the things I've been working on these last 10 weeks the museum has been closed has been a new exhibit that is going to be opening to the public when the museum reopens to the public. It's called Syracuse and the Erie Canal, 200 Years. I thought it would be really cool to come to the museum and maybe go around the city of Syracuse and do some little videos and talk to you about the history of Syracuse and maybe some information that you're going to learn more about when you come see the exhibit when we reopen. So today I am at the museum. I am specifically in the older part of the building. This is the 1850 Syracuse Weighlock building. This is a historic building, and it is actually the only one of the 7 Weighlocks in the system that remains. All of the other 6 were torn down. Interestingly enough, this one was the busiest in the system because it was at the junction of the Erie and Oswego branches of the New York State canal system of the 19th and early 20th centuries. Those 2 canals still exist. I know this is confusing, bear with me. They just don't run through Syracuse anymore, but the building remains. After toll collection ceased on the canal in 1882, this building was kept going as a dry dock for boat repairs. It became the office for the state engineer of New York, and it was used right up until the 1950s to this purpose. And then everybody was moved out. They were moved into the state office building that is behind the museum on Water Street. The building was slated for destruction. Some concerned citizens got together, and including the Syracuse Junior League, and said, "You're not going to take our Weighlock." And so they got the museum building saved. They got this building saved and put on the National Register of Historic Places. It became the Erie Canal Museum in 1962. So we've been here a while. So there you go. Now you have a little bit of history of the Syracuse Weighlock building and how it came to become the museum. So I thought it would be cool if I went over to my collection storage and grabbed an interesting and relevant item that'll be featured in the exhibit and bring it over here, which kind of feels a bit more like its natural home. This is the Weighmaster's office exhibit at the museum. This office actually just looks right out on our weigh chamber, which is just right out there, where canal boats would have come in and been weighed and then exited. Of course, we have a replica boat in the chamber now. So the item that I want to show you was actually donated to the museum in 2017. A woman reached out to me and she wanted to bring me this item. Her father, his name was Edwin L Anderson. He had worked in the Syracuse Weighlock building in the 1930s, 1940s, 1950s, when it was the state engineer's office. And he was later moved to Albany. Well, when they were getting ready to basically demo this building to make way for I-81, thankfully it was saved, he came back by and he salvaged some things. So one of the things that he salvaged was this brass spittoon, which is really cool, actually. This isn't an item that you see hanging around most office buildings these days, and a current staff member of this building would not be using one of these, and we certainly wouldn't have one in our office. And I think it's been cleaned. It had to have been cleaned before it was brought to me in 2017, but it's a really cool item. So I really like this brass spittoon, and I think it's an interesting item that illustrates the fact that the Syracuse Weighlock building had a purpose even after it was no longer responsible for weighing and tolling boats. People still worked here, important things were still accomplished here, and sometimes people chewed tobacco and had to have a place to facilitate that. So thanks a lot for coming along with me today to the Erie Canal Museum and listening to me talk about the city of Syracuse and the Syracuse Weighlock building and show off this cool spittoon. I'm going to put some photos of it in here as well. So please come visit the museum when we can reopen. Keep an eye on our Facebook page and our website for details about when that's going to be, and come and check out Syracuse and the Erie Canal, 200 years when you can. And thank you very much for supporting us at this difficult time. You guys are the best. I hope you're staying well and healthy. Thank you very much.